Was recording in progress. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Welcome everyone to the largest, fastest growing, and the most active globally large-scale Scrum meetup. Has originated in New York City and has gone globally ever since. Today we have our next planned scheduled event. We have a special attendee, a special speaker today, which I would like to give a few words of recognition and a round of applause, if you would like. Her name is Sofia Pelzl. She is joining us from Munich, Germany. She's an experienced Agile coach and a guide involved in global organizational changes and improving ways of working towards better adaptability and agility. She's a certified large-scale Scrum professional and is also a trainer candidate, if I'm not mistaken, which is would be a great asset to the community when she joins us. She's also has a position as advanced accreditations with the Scrum Alliance, and she's a Kanbanist with ICF-PCC. Please keep your mics off. I would like to pass the baton over to her. She's fluent in English, she's fluent in German, and speaks other languages as well. She'll be presented in German. My only ask is to you all to keep your cameras on, mics off, and perhaps, unless it's absolutely urgent, keep your questions towards the end when she opens up the floor for questions. Yet you can still use the chat window to ping each other and me. I'll be collecting those questions perhaps and getting Sofia's attention to it. Without any further ado, may I pass it on to you, Sofia? Please take it away.
All right. Thank you, Jean. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for inviting me, and hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to spend roughly about 1 hour talking about LeSS experiments and share my experiences with you. It's a talk I have given last year on the LeSS conference 2022 in Warsaw, and it calls Expire Agile Transformation from Bottom Up. So a few words who I am. Jean already did a great introduction, so I will make it short. I'm working mostly on the freelance space since 2004. Since last year, I'm partner at the Holland Consulting, so Agile stuff as well. I'm helping companies to improve their Agile mindset and practices. I've done many Scrum adoptions, and few of them become a LeSS-like one. My first big experience in LeSS was the one which I gathered as I worked at the big insurance company back in 2017, 2018. And finally, a LeSS adoption in a middle-sized telco company started in 2019 and ended in 2022. What else? I'm in the LeSS conference organizers team since 2 years. So preparation for next conference are in full swing, and it will take place in Berlin, Germany on September 27-28, 2023. So regarding the content here, I'm this talk to provide you with insights to the process challenges and successes we experienced along the way. I structure this presentation in the following manner. So first of all, motivation for it, then the background information for better understanding of the whole approach. Then some slides regarding our way to LeSS with the 3 different perspectives: organizational one, the workflow, and the cultural one. I will walk through the timeline of the entire LeSS adoption journey, and I will show you the events what happened occurred during this period. So I will show you also organizational constraints. So as you know, so with any significant change, so we're facing as coaches different or several organizational constraints during the LeSS adoptions. So, and conclusion, of course. So, and then I will summarize the takeaways from our LeSS adoption, and also from my writing case studies, but also from the case study, and provide some recommendations for organization considering the similar path like we are. I look forward to sharing our experiences, insights with you in this talk. So, regarding some background information, moment. That's probably, yeah. Regarding some background information or motivation, what was the motivation for the talk? Sorry, just like thinking. So should I start there or there? The primary motivation behind of this case studies was to share the experiences with you. So the lessons learned and the best practices from our LeSS adoptions. So of course, in hopes of helping you or other Scrum Masters, Agile coaches, and basically organizations that are considering embarking on a similar journey. With this one, I would like to show you that a real LeSS adoptions aim to start from bottom up to create the owning versus renting, and continue top down to provide the right structure, for example, for the future teams or simultaneously. Many coaches are starting, like me, at the team level or starting with few teams and not on the level of the upper management. Yeah. Does that mean that you cannot change this organizational structure and benefit from LeSS and use LeSS principles and structure and guides in the non-LeSS environment? Yeah, not all organizations are already able to fully adapt LeSS framework from the beginning. So, and that's why I would like to share our way in implementing some aspects of LeSS in non-LeSS environments and how these practices can still lead to positive outcomes and improvements. Through our LeSS adoption journey, we experienced various success factors, constraints, and learnings that shared and which were shaping our process. So, okay, long story short, I would like to show you the opportunities from this approach and where are the success factors, the limits, the pains, and learnings with it. Hopefully, I'm not like too fast. So, what's going on at the moment? So, our agile transformation still ongoing. So, therefore, company name must be not published yet, right? Or cannot be published yet.
Sure, keep it quiet.
Please?
No,
Yeah.
keep it quiet. Keep it out if you would like.
Yeah. Okay, I already said it's like medium-sized communication infrastructure provider with approximately 1,000 employees somewhere in Germany. Yeah, just do not make too abstract. I would like to give you some of information, of course. So, this will go. Okay, how far I should go? Okay. We had some first team 0 was a portal team with 7 software developers in the beginning. So as you know, like you're starting with one team and going ahead. So if it works, yeah. So then my initial role was the Scrum Master. So initial adoption started in May 2019 on a single project level for 4 months with a dedicated project manager. By now, so 3 teams are working in a LeSS adoption model, and in parallel, multiple future LeSS-like Scrum adoptions, including multi-team events, are started. So the entire LeSS adoption took approximately more than 3 years and still ongoing. So it's a long process. My initial role, what I said, was Scrum Master, but the final role, so I went to like Agile coach and management coach after. Usually I ask, so do you have any questions to that? But probably is no questions now, so by now, and that's why I'm just jumping to the next slides. So As you know, to embark to our journey towards large-scale Scrum adoption, it is essential to follow a structured approach to ensure a successful implementation or transformation. You know all the paths, the known paths to guide your organizational transition to LeSS, probably. So if don't, I just can call some of them. So it is assess the current situation. So the assessment of the current situation, for example, is important. Then gain leadership support, educate and train staff, form cross-functional self-organizing teams. I would say like culture follows the structure. Define a single product owner, implement LeSS principles and structure and practices. And then of course, implement LeSS principles, force and so on. So monitor process and yeah, and of course share learnings and success stories. So that's why I'm here. But back to the way, our way of LeSS. So at this stage we were not so far. Everything what I told you before so was not done. So we just started. Through the LeSS adoptions, and I considered 3 essential perspectives. You see them here on this side. So organizational on the right side, below, so of the below the timeline. Organizational perspective, is it in gray? So in gray color, workflow perspective is in the blue, and cultural, and just to make sure you can follow me here on this one. For example, management sees Scrum as a project management methodology, so it's, for example, cultural perspective. That's why it was important for me to tell you that. Okay, so why it's still here so lonely? So it is management was seeing the Scrum as a project management methodology, starting the first year in May 2019 with one team Scrum approach, not really standard Scrum, so it's less branded one. Management mindset was the Scrum is only a process or even a management methodology. Previously, it was an old organization with a classic hierarchical structure, and IT was completely focused on the systems and the projects and not on the products, which is almost common. So that's why we have got the project manager there for the adoption phase or like trial phase to report to the upper management in a project steering committee's manner. So first we started. We had to change the structure. One team Scrum was built. So now, my chance to change the whole system starting from small. I have implemented LeSS branded one team Scrum with one PO, one product backlog, and one feature team. So, and feature team with BA, development or developers, and tester. It was the first time that the business B2C product owner of the customer portal was appointed to a Scrum team member, as a Scrum team member. So, and worked closely with IT. Then to the Scrum event. So that is this workflow perspective. Scrum events, that what I said, less branded. So yeah, there were like some LeSS events, principles and rules were applied on the team level and right in the beginning in May 2019. So it was a good foundation, and a very good foundation to desire scaling later by adding more and more teams and already established working model, which means that was the preparation for it. So like applied sprint events, which did not need any further changes. And then at the end, so the project management understands, so what we did there. So, and the last half of the adoption phase and the 4-month project, together with the dedicated project manager, I prepared a way to change the project to the product. So using success of the last months for that, management understood the harmfulness of the projects and advantages of Scrum. So in July 2019, the decision was made to go ahead with the product-driven approach. That's wrong word. So after this successful adoption, management support got higher. And a team event included the Scrum team, and all levels of company management was organized on the rooftop of the company's building after the 4-month trial project was completed. So, and the team could share the experience, his experiences working Agile with management directly, which was really good. So it was relaxed atmosphere over there. The deep and narrow approach was worked out, and we could go further in our Agile transformation. So we have got multiple stakeholders, and therefore broader product definition and organic growth. So with new volunteers in the team, after the people were convinced the Agile way of working is really working. So, and then we had one PO team. Of course, it is a constraint. Important to mention here, we created a PO team, and that is not less rule compliant. I will tell you about that in the capture constraints. So it was a little bit more explanation. But it still one product backlog for growing Scrum team, which is really good. In order to keep one product backlog, we established one additional event, so which was the workload perspective. So which is also not that what LeSS totally saying, but it was a workaround. Called weekly shared prioritization meeting. Include all three POs from the business units, B2B, so and B2C, and other, and I think something like with housing associations. So I will speak about this event later in constraints as well. So, and that's why would just go ahead with this one. So that's a little bit so the timeline which we had so over those 3 years. I think it's more reasonable to show the timeline sometimes. So I don't really like the presentation, but it's too complicated to do it without. The decision, as the decision to go ahead with the Agile approach was made, I've got the possibility to build and train 3 new teams with the same blueprint. It was not the part of this exactly of this adoption, but it was like we had the same LeSS brand events which we used. So, and I could just also like give the training so and give them the way to do the LeSS branded Scrum. So, and there was good experience. So. The same LeSS branded events like I had established before in the portal team, that's what it was. The sprint was, the spirit, by the way, was really great. It was fun to train Scrum Masters and developers in LeSS and Scrum, which is also a good aspect. So to do it, it was really fun. It was also before pandemic, so and also after. So we'll catch up on it. So in parallel, the group of people they would like to work in Scrum was so big that it was a real fierce scaling started with the second future team. So in addition, I have invited 4, like, no, I would say it on a different way. I initiated 4 different communities, like technical excellence community with the shared code ownership, testing, then test automation, COP. So Scrum Master and product community of practice in the beginning. So, and to go to the workflow perspective, we have we got like following events. So sprint planning 1, overall product backlog refinement, sprint review, overall retro, including multi-team. So, and then we had IT management support, IT management workshop. So all of the people were there. So like all the levels, and to an organizational transformation, just to ask. So what they think about that? So what is the target? How to go forward with the whole thing? What we're doing here? So. And this IT management workshop on organizational transformation with the recognition of the sense of urgency in organization was pretty cool. Organization of an Agile initiation of this Agile Guiding Coalition. So according to John Picotter's leading change as a support gremium or committee to agility in the company was born there. So it was like kind of also to support this little plant which was growing so slowly. So, and that's what I said already before regarding like pandemic, to understand the whole situation. So starting from the end of March 2020, we had to deal with all the known COVID-19 issues and could not process on site. So the all team activities were done virtually. So also to join the team events in the early evening. So for example, ordering pizza and stuff like that, of course, was like not that easy for the people, like sitting whole day for PC and then coming back. So, but we knew a good thing about that was we knew already before everyone. So, and it was of course better so to collaborate. So as you know, so. Yeah. Then after that, several months later, we have got a third team. So, but we did not scale now. So we just got the third team. So working on Scrum, and we started with an onboarding KTs in the third team. So the concept of travelers, so was also like from sprint to sprint, and scouts and the dailies was implemented. In the meanwhile, the C-level management workshop to agile transformation in the whole company with the valuable insights. So, and discussions during the workshops was conducted. And it was decided to continue with a focus on the whole IT supported by POs from business. So it was the beginning only one small, and then it was growing, so to the bigger one. So a decision from management to establish a further and larger, deep and narrow with the view on to the future analysis. So that is broad and shallow for the rest of the organization. For the rest of the organization was born. So I think it made sense what I said. So the we started small, then we extended to the whole IT, and still involved some parts of business. So of course it will be cool to do everything in once, but it is like the huge step for a lot of organization to do this one. And then to the further scaling, and in February 2022, 1 year ago from now, a future scaling to the third Scrum team was done. It was done as a self-designing team workshop with an interactive team event. And then we have got a third team. Nice fact from the self-designing team workshop, travelers and scouts decided by themselves where and when to join. So, and it was amazing to see this interaction in the workshop. So because usually, so you like a coach, Scrum Master asking, yeah, could you do that? No, they did everything perfectly by themselves. So what happened regarding the cultural perspective? So last year, also in the spring, so where I did less trainings in IT and business units. So I conducted more of them. So so that just spread the knowledge around. We have got further less like initiatives in different IT departments with the top management support, which was great. Top down, bottom up. So it was not only our little plant. So some comes also from the top actively. So, and what about events? Yeah, we implemented all LeSS events, routines, and practices so far it was possible. So, I mean, we did more or less like classically, like in a book. And so our way to LeSS is almost done. So that means I would jump now to the organizational constraints. And you see already here, so organizational constraints can be a challenge when implementing large-scale Scrum. Then some common organizational constraints were also in the case of our Agile transformation. And yeah, I don't know, usually so I'm interacting with the people, so and asking, of course, which one do you know? But I assume like we all educated already, so in those changes, or like mostly, as Jean said before, like really great people here, so knows about a lot about Scrum, about Agile, about also LeSS probably. So like resistance to change, one of the common patterns, so like common constraints. Then organizational structure is not built on the way it's supposed to build. Lack of single product owner, so siloed departments and so on. So to overcome these constraints, so you have a lot of things to do, and I would just not just speak around that. So we'll just go ahead and see what did I do here. So no, you see already. So there can be only one. That's the picture, Highlander. So product owner team. So usually that means that there's no actual product owner, right? So, and that's our constraint. So and also not what I said already before, is not like LeSS like. So and it is like, why is not that good? This problem or this constraint can lead to misalignment and confusion regarding priorities, decision making, and overall efficiency. So what we have done there, so we had this practical workaround. So with the with this prioritization meeting, so to address the constraint, we implemented a weekly shared prioritization meeting that included all 3 POs from the business units, as I said already before. So and was the approach allowed us to maintain a collaborative environment where all product owners could voice their opinions and contribute to the prioritization process. Was good for us. And yes, that's so far. Then we had this kind of undone department. So it is another organizational constraint we faced during our LeSS adoption. Yeah, what should I say to that? So in our case, it was a separate tester component group responsible for conducting end-to-end and performance tests. The setup was lead to delays and dependencies for conducting end-to-end and testing group, end-to-end for conducting end-to-end tests. So, and it was difficult to achieve a real, true definition of done in the teams. So the practical workaround was, so we created one. So I don't know, it is to address this constraint, we made some adjustments on our definition of done and the team collaboration. So we modified it for our teams to even consider the constraint posed by the separate tester component group. By acknowledging this constraint in a DoD, we set realistic expectations for development team and kind of encouraged collaboration with the testing group. But of course, it is a constraint. So, and we have a lot of things to do still. Then we have this non-software related work departments. So how to integrate the hardware, serial works in LeSS. So, and how to combine those things together. So we don't know by now because we did not do it, because we only had this, you know, we only were working on IT at the moment. So, and the next step will be even to see how to combine those things. So we could not like directly answer those questions, but I know it is there. So we have to just speak about that still. So, and then we had external UI UX support. Then we had like to mitigate, we had to mitigate the challenges so posed by external UI UX support. We implemented a close collaboration between the feature team and UI UX designers, external ones. This approach involved the following steps, including of UI UX designers to the product backlog refinement. So by involving external designers in the product backlog refinement sessions, we ensured that they were aware of the priorities, requirements, expectations of the development teams. This facilitated better alignments and understanding and reduced the harmful effects. So our upcoming challenges, that's what I said before. So we had the topics with the product owner, our constraints. We had to restructure the organization, or we have to restructure the organization. To enhance our LeSS adoption, we will need to restructure the organization to allow a single product owner supported by product owners. To do that, this will help to streamline decision-making process and ensure alignment across different product areas. Establish a single product owner and ensure that they are empowered to make critical decisions. Improve IT practices. So it's an important step. So we aim to implement continuous integration practices within our IT department to facilitate faster and more efficient software development and delivery. We hope that this will enable our teams to collaborate more effectively and accelerate the release, accelerate the release of the new features and improvements. So then, yeah, we have to solve the integration problem with the civil work departments and projects, which needs to be done. So we recognize the need to address these existing integration challenges. And we already started even to address it. So, but we need still need more time, more money, and everything. By focusing these upcoming challenges and to-dos, we hope. So, was German, hope. We hope to further strengthen to our LeSS adoptions and contribute to more agile, adaptive, and efficient organization. So together we can contribute to learn, to grow, to improve as we embrace the principles and practices of Large Scrum. So I'm almost done. You almost managed to listen to me so long. And probably I will be faster than I was expected. To all LeSS friendly Scrum Masters out there. So I want to leave you with an encouraging message. Don't give up. Even if your organization is currently built on the way, so not really built on the LeSS way, so built on the way, so in this direction. So it's still possible to initiate significant change. as I mentioned earlier, with passion and persistence, you can help drive the transformation and make meaningful impact on the organizational journey toward agility and continuous improvement. Stay committed to the practice and values of LeSS, and you will be essential catalyst for the positive change in your organization. Keep up the great work. So then I just have to say thank you. And so much for your attention. So it was like unusual speech without break, kind of it. I appreciate your interest in our LeSS adoption journey, and I hope you found it informative and insightful. I hope you have any questions. If you have any questions you would like clarified on any point to discuss, please feel free, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to provide answers and engage the future discussions. Thank you.
Sofia, thank you. Right off the bat, folks, the floor is open now. We have about 15 minutes for Q&A. I know there are a few who are posted already in the chat. Just voice them if you would like. And thank you once again for doing this, Sofia. So there were a few questions from Nawaz and one from Bala, and there are some other folks. So just fire away. Or do you wish me to speak on your behalf? Nawaz, are you still there? You had at least a few questions.
Yes, please, Gene, go ahead.
How about paraphrase what you had? So directly verbatim in the chat room from Nawaz. The question is, how was it conducted? Assuming the adoption that you needed to adopt LeSS. Why not safe? Okay. Was there any consideration for that at all? If you have any view on this, Sofia.
Yeah, I have a view on this. So I'm basically sometimes also doing safe. I'm not really convinced. So because it is not like that flexible, and the possibility to change something in the backlog is also not that high. So you like having these 12 weeks. So which you already planned everything. So that's really so stable, or not stable, that's so like it is like a stone, more or less. So that means so in these 2 weeks, so you're not really moving anything around. So, and that's one of the things, and also waste, because it's from my opinion. I'm sorry for all the people that are doing safe. I'm doing safe at the moment as well. So, but I see like really the challenges with this approach, because we have many people running around. So, and it's kind of, if you empower the teams to do the work, you don't need release train engineers. You don't need like many POs, so you don't need so many people. They just don't have all like test manager, whatever. So, and that's why I think LeSS is like really barely sufficient framework. So it wouldn't even say framework, because LeSS is like just to give you some structure, so, and supports you in doing everything what you want regarding the standards on the market for the whole development stuff.
Thank you for that. We'll just I see there was one for Matthias. Matthias, why don't you go? Yeah, why don't you go ahead and ask? We'll take another one from the chat after this.
Hi, Sofia.
Hi, Matthias.
So first, thank you all for the presentation. That's very interesting. Unlike your bottom-up and top-down approach. So could listen to you. It was interesting how you get the buy-in from the top management. Perhaps, I'm sure, with results. So it's an interesting approach. Question: which were your kind of key KPIs for steering this whole process? So time to market, burn down, or which were the few 3 or 5 indicators in kind of figures which you and your team perhaps got used for navigation, that you know that you are on the right way.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Hi, Matthias. So long time see you. So we had some like I mean, I really don't like KPIs, but sometimes you need some metrics. So of course,
Okay.
like the burn down chart. So just to see how it works. Of course, we use also like team satisfaction. So we had like the team weather. So we also was having like measuring, so how satisfied are the customers. So and then we had also the throughput had to be measured. So that's probably most important one. So time to market. So more or less. And but we still in the process also like to maybe to find one which is like, but I would say throughput. So that was most important.
So you know, I come from value stream, and there's always the thing to visualize the visual things, the throughput, and of course get a chance to visualize the waste. So the time which things are not getting forward and so on, just to set the focus on this way.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Matthias.
You're welcome.
Sophia, there was one. We'll take one from the room, but before you go, there was one in the chat. Let me just paraphrase from Bala. What were key successes of the pilot team that convinced management? If you could answer that one, then we'll go back to live.
We deliver basically everything what we were like taking. So, and that's why, so that was like the burn down chart was like one of the thing what we just show and said, okay, so we did everything. So of course also we measured how many bugs did we have. So, and we had really like no bugs, and all really like just minor ones, or like really few. And we had basically we delivered everything. So I mean that's like mostly like what the management was going to see. So does it work or does it not? Because they were like thinking about Scrum in the manner of the kind of the project. So, and that's what I said before. And the project, so if you have every milestones done and everything is done successfully, so in time and budget and the magic triangle, so project manager triangle, so then everything is fine. So, and that was like the trial was measured like in the both ways. So on an agile way. So I still remember, so in the beginning of presentation, it was also a project kind of. So does it answer the question from the Bala?
Bala will speak up if he would like to. Going once, twice. Well, he'll get back to us. Let's take one from Sean. Sean, you have your hand raised. Could you please unmute and yeah?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can.
I can hear you.
Perfect. So my question, Sophia, is what was the organization's familiarity with Scrum or Agile before you joined? Did they have Scrum teams before, or was this a new concept and they were fully waterfall, or what was the culture like before?
That's what I said, like, sorry, you know, that was hierarchical. So the old like waterfall structure. So, but they had some teams working, one team sitting somewhere working, but it's also in IT doing Scrum with the team lead as Scrum Master, something like really weird. And they said, so it runs perfectly, so that I did not touch them, honestly, so till then. So, and the team I was before, they were working like kind of Scrum bun, but we put a little bit more people, and we like also established less branded rules, or like Scrum rules, because they did not do retros, like, or like, you know, stuff like that. And the people were not like that. They said they were also like, we had great time in this team. So it was also like journey because it was the same people like 5 years ago did this Scrumban. So and the rest of the Scrumban was still there. So they did not do all the events. And then I had to take this team and start work in Scrum.
Okay. And that was actually going to be my second question. Was this team a new team, or was this a transformation of an existing team? It sounds like this was a transformation of an existing team.
It was a transformation of an existing team.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Thank you so much.
additionally, so we took some development. So because like was like unfortunate separation to the front end, back end development. So some back end developers come like, yeah, okay, he was a full stack developer come additionally to the team. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Sorry, so sometimes I have really to think it's like back 3 years ago. Sometimes. Okay, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis. Please, you're up.
Okay, hello, und vielen Dank, Sofia, für die Präsentation.
Schön, sehr gerne.
Yeah, so my question is, I think I heard you mention in the beginning that there was an IT department, and maybe I could have heard this wrong, but was there some sort of an IT department? And then when you try to introduce, okay, we're going to make an experiment here and do Scrum or large-scale Scrum, it is a little bit of a different way of working. Was there a resistance from the IT department to say, well, no, we know how to do things, and if you come and teach us something else, then you cannot know this better, and if it succeeds, we're going to look bad?
I would not call it resistance. Thank you for the question. So it's common that it is a resistance there. But was not really good understanding. It's my personal opinion, was not really good understanding so that what is Scrum directly and what is LeSS. What does it mean? Because like that we're going to change probably everything with this approach. So it was not clear in the beginning for IT department, I would say even IT division kind of. So it is like there were different component departments there. And inside of these component departments, even like we had the discussion before pandemic regarding the rooms. So because I said I would like to sit all the teams together, so in one room, so to have a better collaboration. So and they said, no, we were fighting that everyone is getting own rooms. So that, for example, development is sitting in one room, so the testers are sitting in another room, and BA is sitting somewhere on another side of the building. So, and that's why, so you can maybe give some kind of impression, so how we started. So with this team was always like kind of experimental team. And then it goes like regarding even this the question before, so the KPIs and stuff like that. Yes, we delivered everything. So and it was exactly that word they said, maybe it can work. So and I said, so we cannot stop after this pilot project. We should go ahead and do more. And the people also of like developers started to look around and say, okay, I work in another organization in Scrum, I would like to work with you. And it was a huge volunteering wave. So and that's why we had to scale. Don't scale. Let's say don't scale. But we had to.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Sure. Jen, you see any hands or questions?
I'm looking for them. Thank you for everything so far, folks. We got about 6 minutes remaining. I would say we'll take another 2 minutes to answer maybe one more question before we wrap up. Anyone else wishes to? Okay, Sean, one more time. Go ahead, please.
So second question, less adoption for 3 teams. Of this 1,000-person telecom company, how large of a organization do you see adopting? How many feature teams do you think you would descale to? Or would the less adopt to? Less adopt with? How many teams would adopt less?
I know exactly what you mean. I'm thinking so regarding like, first of all, you have to do the product definition workshop, right? So to see, because it's like also a lot of overhead over there. Yeah, it's like that is the biggest problem, probably the overhead, because and some, of course, people are working like in a calling center, so like because telecommunications also honestly, I can't tell you that for sure. Before before the management totally into it. So they are inspired regarding IT. So we're delivering everything so far. So sometimes bad, sometimes not. So, but it goes ahead. So, and you ask questions. No idea. So I really have to. It's good question. So because I think maybe 50 teams. So, but I have really to do the workshop first. So because we had the workshop, but we need to do it on another level. So with the civil works and everything. So then we can tell exactly so how it's structured. So, and we did that, what I said before, IT only.
Fantastic.
So with a
Thank
little
you.
bit of business. So you're welcome. Good questions, Sean.
So once again, thank you for the question, Sean, and thank you for the answer, Sophia. Folks, we got 3 minutes before the hour. I prefer to wrap up a few minutes before the hour so people can make it to their next event, since it's a lunch and learn event. I want to thank you all for joining and asking questions and also exchanging in the chat. Special thanks to you, Sophia. This has been a great experience sharing. Hopefully it also will give you, it's like a dry run before you go for your real presentation in September. We'll probably tweak a few things too, right? For everyone who joined, the recording will be available sometime tonight, and along with the materials that Sophia has provided already. So you probably want to wait until you get the video. And please share around and look out for our next upcoming events. Happy Good Friday to those that celebrate. Happy weekend, and healthy and productive the rest of work day today. Okay. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you very much
you.
for having me here and for your passion.
You did a great
See you
job.
guys.
Thank you.
Sophia.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.